big old Continental Classic video to kick off Dynamite. Within it, MVP was talking about ups and downs. Now, he wasn't referencing this show, but look at me, I will take what I can get. But given that we had another release later on, it was just a great way for AEW to go, oh, hey, you want to catch you up with our tournament? Bingo bango. Also, hello, my friends. My name is Simon Miller, the Progress Broiest Champion. What the hell's my title? That's a very, very good question, but I appreciate you joining me as always. And now, I am going to take this, the finger of power, the love of my life, and I'm going to give the good bits an up and the bad bits a down from the latest episode of AEW Dynamite. The first thing we did learn is that Bruce Robinson is out of the C2 because he broke his foot in a match. All the best to that guy, that's no fun. And his replacement is going to be Commander. And based on his recent form, he's probably going to lose a lot. When we actually got our first time ever match too, because it was Shelton Benjamin versus Carl Fletcher. This is why I'm happy that AEW exists. I didn't know I needed this in my life. Some people were melting down as well because they were like, oh no, what if Carl loses? And listen, he shouldn't be being defeated at the moment, but the best thing about tournaments and pro wrestling and sports entertainment is that people can win and they can lose, and then you can say, hey, even though we're gonna do this, after the fact we're gonna do X, Y, and Z, that's going to make everything okay. And that is the joy of the business, and also this is a massive waste of time because Carl Fletcher won. Though when he came to the ring, he wasn't wearing his crown. So what happened to his crown? Does that mean he's not a king anymore? Was there some kind of impeachment? That is not what happens with kings. He did indeed start talking trash though, so Shelton just ran through him. Once again, my heart was filled up to the brim because Shelton Benjamin is getting all the cheers these days. And I love it when this happens in pro wrestling because he's put in the time and he never got his due. So finally, we're all going, wait a minute, why don't we cheer for Shelton Benjamin more? He's brilliant. And that's what we're doing. Fletcher then charged in, but he totally missed and went into the rim post, or I suppose Tina the turnbuckle. But actually, he didn't miss it because, man, he had his eye on the prize during this thing, and he hit a Michinoku driver for a 1-2-ooh. Benjamin obviously then kicked him in the nose, which is always the way when he went submission crazy. But Carl was like, well, I don't really want to have one of my limbs broken, so he hit a top rope elbow. This was good. The amount of German suplexes Benjamin then threw was a work of art, as was this knee in the corner. Like, if the camera had come back to Carl Fletcher and he had lost his chin, I'd been like, well, yeah, what else did you think was going to happen? I think Fletcher must have thought this too, because my gosh, he got totally scared, and after going out of the ring, then coming back in the thing, just when it looked like he was going to lose, he did some wiggling, he did some jiggling, and he hit the most devastating move in all of sports, an attempt at a surprise roll-up, and he got the 1-2-3. Now, of course, he held the ropes as well, because he is a massive dickhead. Him and Don Callis just ran out of there like the cat that got the cream. So I am all good with this. You had a good guy, you had a bad guy. The bad guy felt like he had to cheat to get the 3 points. And now Shelton can be like, damn you, one day I shall get my revenge. So it's just great stuff. I love the C2 and I would marry it if I could, though that's probably illegal. It's getting it up. This is when we did get the other C2 video, and as soon as that was done, out walked Hook. He doesn't like Nick Wayne. And that's because Nicholas had challenged him to a match at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Hook was like, no, I want your fake daddy, Christian Cage, at that event. So why don't you walk out here and I'll kick your ass right now. Of course, here came the patriarchy because we had just broken Wrestling Rule 14.4, but ever it was a ruse, because Christian Cage was doing his thing, and then from behind Hook, there were his fake boys. It was Nick Wayne, it was Kip Sabian. They whooped Hook's butt. Now actually Hook was able to get back into this, but then Mother Wayne was casting the distraction and Christian was getting involved. So I did the maths, right? I got a calculator. You're not gonna believe this. It was 4-on-1. So it does mean Hook needs a friend, and I'll be that friend. It'll be totally random, but I will do it. And after Christian had smashed him in the head with his special briefcase contract thingamajig, do you know what they did? They got the chairs and they did a concerto onto his hand. So now how the hell is he gonna play basketball? Now I did actually laugh because usually at the end of these things, the ring is flooded with security or officials. Nobody came out to help Hook, not even any of the baby faces. What is wrong with you? The thing is, there is just something about having a match between Hook and Nick Wayne, which makes me go, yeah, this is what AEW should be doing, especially because recently, it's all been about the AEW OGs. That's what they are. Christian is just the best too, because he has no redeeming features, and somehow that then becomes a redeeming feature. So I'm happy for this to plod along in the way that it is plodding. Plodding's a negative word, I shouldn't use it, but I like it. It's fine, it's entertaining, it works. Renee Paquette was then speaking to Mercedes Moné after this, and man, she pissed her off by saying Camille's name. Mercedes was like, she doesn't work for me anymore, so I don't want to talk about her. So the ending of that relationship is very curious. I would watch this space. Instead, she is now annoyed that Anna Jay has started sticking her nose in her business, so she hears she's having a match later, so she's gonna go and watch it. Now, all of this has felt very rushed. It is a little bit like Geese title shot. They do something later, which I also thought was good. So we'll get there. When we got another great segment, right? Now, at first I was like, oh my gosh, we're teasing a breakup. Then I realized what I was talking about. Because it was MVP yelling at Shelton Benjamin. He was like, man, I can't believe you lost. That's not what we do. What is wrong with you? You want to know why this is so good? Because it sold Shelton as a guy that shouldn't be losing. He shouldn't be getting defeated. And the fact that he had was a disappointment to his friend, to his boss, to his mentor, whatever you want to call it. And then MVP and Bobby Lashley walked off. So Shelton Benjamin just beat up a producer. I mean, why not? It then got even better because when Umvup and Bobby Lashley returned, it looked like they were going to calm him down, but then someone dared touch Bobby, so he beat them up as well. So you know the deal, it's going to be the same week in, week out. The Hurt Syndicate are really, really brilliant. When we did indeed get to the Dynamite, Diamond Ring, Battle Royal, whatever the flub it's called, and I do have to throw it down in there, because it's such a shame it did come out of nowhere. Because AEW does have this really cool yearly gimmick, and rather than kind of build it up and have a bunch of people going, well, I would like to win the Diamond Ring, because look what it did for MJF's career, it was just mentioned 7 days ago, and now it's happening. Like, it's not a bad thing, I just think there's so much potential here. Sometimes it makes me sad in my tum-tum when we don't realize it. It also lacked Jeopardy as well because, of course, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly were in it, so you knew the deal. But we also had Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Rocky Romero, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, The Butcher, Mark Davis, who seems not to care about Carl Fletcher anymore, Dante Martin, and Darius Martin. So I thought, well, something dodgy's happened there. Why are they both allowed in it? They're a tag team. Now listen, they are all great talents, but you just knew they weren't going to be victorious because, of course, the last two here, stupid sentence, the last two people standing here will then go on to have a match at Dynamite, and the winner of that will go to World's End to take on MJF. So actually it's a really nice way for Adam Cole to make amends, given that he wasn't successful in round one. But this just brings me back to what we just talked about. Imagine he had this realization 3 weeks ago, and he was like, oh man, how the hell am I gonna get at that piece of trash? I know, the Dynamite special, Dingle Bam Bam, Dynamite Battle Royal. Instead, it just randomly came up in conversation. Evil Uno was chucked out of there when he forgot about 2024 and he tried to pose, and Mark Davis said goodbye. When Brian Cage and Lance Archer started launching into everyone. Now, I did like this because they're so damn big. That's when everybody else was like, well, we better focus on them because, again, the size is important here. How are we going to get them over the top rope? It was quite good, though, because it was Leo Rush and Action Andretti that took advantage of this. But not to get rid of the Ham Hocks. They went and threw out Top Flight, and then went, ha ha ha, we've been having a feudal rampage and we didn't forget. They soon got eliminated, mostly thanks to Kyle, when the Butcher started running wild, and he was my secret pick, but Adam Cole did away with him, and essentially our final four were Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Lance Archer, and Brian Cage. Now, I kicked him a super did nothing to Brian because he is such a tough guy, but listen, eventually Lance Archer was on one ring apron and Brian Cage was on the other one, and Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly did like sliding baseball things, and that knocked them to the outside. We have our winners. So Stevie Wonder could have seen that coming, and afterwards, Adam tried to shake Carl's hand, and he walked off. So we got to draw a line under it now. I don't want any more super nice babyface, oh, I love you so much, Adam Cole, even though that is what he's like in real life. He's the nicest man ever. I want him to start going, you know what, Kyle, you're a dickhead, and I don't care about you anymore. Still, when we do this match, just have Adam Cole win, and then do the MJF match. At the moment, it's kind of back on track, especially given a promo we do get later. It's still a bit wibbly wobbly, but all things considered up. And a smaller side as well, I think everyone needs to lay off Adam Cole just a little bit. The man had a dead person's bone put in his foot, and somehow he's still wrestling. We should just be round of applauding modern science every time he does walk out. I feel like we've got over the line. It's time to step backwards. We then learn that Julia Hart is most definitely going after Jamie Hayter because we had a spooky wookie video. When we cut to the Acclaimed, I don't think that Anthony Bowen's and daddy ass like Max Caster anymore. Because one, they feel like Caster is being manipulated by the Hurt Syndicate and he doesn't see it. And two, why the flub are you going after Swerve Strickland later? I mean, you didn't even run it by us. Now Max disagreed because he thinks these people should start supporting him when he wanted everyone to put their hand in. But they didn't do it, because once again, he has not followed the rules, and now they dislike it. We went right from this to Max Caster versus Swerve Strickland as well, and I will tell you, my friends, this was some good wrestling business. Because the idea is that Max Caster calls himself the best in the world, but maybe he has clouded his judgment and maybe he has got too arrogant. So when he came up against a former world champion in Swerve, well, let's just call it for what it was, Strickland killed him. I mean, he booed him right in the head, and when Max tried to fame us, Swerve was like, no, and he gave him the suplex instead. And then we'll just jump forward a minute or so. He went, how about I hit you with 3 house calls? Oh, you've been knocked out, have you? I'll pin you, 1, 2, 3. This went like 3 minutes. It looked like Swerve was going to leave too when he remembered that his good friend is Mario, so he also hit a massive stop onto Max. And honestly, Prince Nana was dancing the whole time. I thought this did a world of good for everyone. To be Strickland also made sure to look in the camera and basically tell Bobby Lashley, we ain't finished, pal. But also, what a great justification to continue to turn Max Caster heel. He's now out on his ass. So if you're one of these crazy people going, oh man, they just made Max Caster look like an idiot, you don't get wrestling. Like, you can't like wrestling or understand it, or at the very least, you're not actually watching AEW and you're just talking. Because Max has been loud and obnoxious as he ponders his future. He just got put in his place. So it sounds to me like he does need a big old change. Maybe you can even call it a heelish one. It's also way better than just getting 50-50 matches all of the time. And in terms of your roster, it kind of pigeonholed people and said that guy's there and that guy's there. So if Max now wants to get to the top once again, maybe he needs to go and get a business card and get the golden ticket. So honestly, while this was sort of a quick thing, like it zoomed past, it's not like it took over Dynamite. When you deeped into it, I thought it was really good. We then cut to MJF after this, and he was laughing his ass off because his plan is working. He's another guy that's becoming more and more like a James Bond villain. Now, he made sure to tell the truth here, which I actually thought was a massive positive, because he was like, listen, Adam Cole, let's go all back to the future here. You turned on me because you thought I was going to turn on you. What evidence you have? I'll tell you the answer, my buddy, pal. Absolutely not. So now Cole's friend Roderick Strong is all broken and Adam now has to face his other buddy in Kyle O'Reilly. So yeah, if we start pointing the finger of blame, maybe it's pointed at you. They got even better as well because MJF said, listen, I tell you, the state of AEW would be well better if I was still champion and not like John Moxley idiot who's now running around causing a bunch of chaos. Now you do really need that to start crossing the stream so people do actually acknowledge what John Moxley is doing and he's not just existing in the phantom zone. So actually, it made the feud more interesting, because we have pitched Max as the bad guy, but is he? I don't think he is. I mean, he's still letting that way, because he referenced Adam Cole having jaundice, which yes, it's all this talk about the tan. Here's what I think about wrestlers' tans. I don't care. It's a funny thing to have a conversation about, but I have real problems, man. I'm not going to waste my day talking about it on the internet. It was still a funny line though, and MJF finished it by saying, Cole, I know you can't beat Kyle O'Reilly. So yeah, once again, in terms of damage control, it just sort of rewarded me for watching the thing, and you can still think MJF is a piece of crap, and you can also still side with Adam Cole while saying, oh Adam, you did make a bit of a faux pas, but I appreciated the effort here. I can see what they're doing. It was back to the wrestling after this. Once again, it made me so happy. It was Jay White versus Pac. Another match I don't think we've ever seen before. Now it was a joy from the off, but that Wheeler Yuta was on the outside. So I was shouting, hey, AEW, if you can ban people in the C2, why aren't you banning Wheels? He always gets involved, and surprise, surprise, he was soon getting involved. Now thankfully Jay White is a smart babyface, so he was able to take care of this. And when Pac ran in, he was way too crazy, and he almost got Blade Runner before he got the hell out of there. The back body drop that followed this was hilarious, because I think Pac went back to his home planet, and also the exploder that followed. Well, these are two like crazy people. They were really going into it. Wheels then used the trip to score the advantage, and Pac loved that because he just grabbed Jay and threw him into Barry Barricade. And then they slugged it out, but Jay got thrown into Tina the turnbuckle when we got this. It was just a mega chop. Pac then did his snap German, which makes it sound like he broke a German man, but I mean he did a maneuver, when he decided to go for the shooting star press, but actually he missed. That's mostly because Jay rolled out of the way when he just dropped Pac right on his head. I was like, well, yeah, I guess you're trying to beat him, man. That'll do it. It also allowed Jay to go for the Blade Runner, but Pac wasn't into that, so he went for the Brutalizer. And the way White got out of that is he kind of fell into the ropes, or at least there was some shenanigans here, which eventually meant the referee had to turn to Pac and was like, can you let go of this move, you absolute goober? When on the outside, Wheeler Yuta, damn Wheeler Yuta, he hit the running knee right into Jay White's face. It really was the most crazy finish, though, because that maneuver must suck. Because Jay got back in the ring, Pac was laughing, going, ha ha, I've got this. When White hit the Blade Runner, and he got the 1, 2, 3. Talk about out of nowhere. Yuta is just a liability as well. So he tried to make amends, but instantly got Blade Runnered. So I was laughing. When out came Marina Shafir. Now I love this, because it was like your mum going, that boy can't do anything, I'll do it myself. Of course it was just a ruse, because John Moxley attacked from behind and the Riders of Death were going at it. When all of a sudden, Jay White realized, well, I've taken my med pack. I don't like you, John Moxley, so I'm getting involved. Now, these two are definitely going to fight when, and this is how I viewed it when I was watching it before we did get the big reveal, the cameraman decided, you know what, I don't like Jonathan either, so why don't I kill him? and got a camera cable and he was choking him. Now, it did turn out that it was Orange Cassidy, but I was like, man, that cameraman is definitely getting fired. He's turned to a life of crime. On that note, no matter who it was, crime counter. Now, given that it was Cassidy, he must have gone to the bad side too, because he was trying to kill him, which when a big brawl broke out. At one point, Marina even got dumped over Barry Barricade. Given that it was totally crazy though, all of a sudden Moxie found himself out by himself, so he got hit by the Blade Runner, he got hit by the Orange Punch, when Orange looked at Jay, and Jay looked at Orange, and just as John was back to his feet, Hangman Adam Page teleported in, and he took him out with the damn buckshot lariat. Now let's just go back to that because I think it's a big old deal. White was looking at Orange, mostly probably because they starred in the film Reservoir Dogs, when all of a sudden Christian Cage was also here, and he was grinning because of course, he has the magical contract briefcase thing. So this was really good because we now have a unit of wrestlers not only going for the AEW World Championship, but also making it clear, well, I don't really like what these Death Riders are doing, so whether I'm a good guy, whether I'm a bad guy, better go and stop it. And sure, Orange got murdered at the last pay-per-view, so why the hell is he allowed to have another go at the title? But at the same time, if you were a human being or a piece of fruit, you would be like, well, he did really beat me up. I'm not going to take that lying down. So yes, I will just become a serial killer. You also have to imagine that we're going to do a 4-way at the pay-per-view, and that should be great stuff. And it also puts John Moxley in a position where he does have some jeopardy, because he could lose the title without losing the title. So yeah, more of this. Let's make sure other people on the roster do start referencing it. It got me excited, which is the point of wrestling. Jamie Hayter then verbally smashed Julia Hart. She was like, yeah, listen, great video earlier, but I don't really care about your mind games. This is a pay-per-view from 1996. Hayter also dropped the line that at Wembley, everybody and their mother is mad she did make a return. I was like, is that true? Hang on. Hey, Mum, it's me. Yeah, are you mad that Jamie Hayter came back at Wembley? What do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about? Jamie's also excited to get through to that 4-way International Women's Cup thing. Here's the deal with Jamie Hayter. She's really good. Come 2025, we should give her a big old push. I'm also down for this feud. Quick Chris Jericho promo after this as he deliberately mispronounced the Hammerstein Ballroom, when he also said, hey, tomorrow night you will find out who my opponent is going to be for Final Battle. Now obviously this has been recorded and I've seen the spoilers, which I'm not going to spoil for you, but what I am going to do is give you the headlines. It's a great choice. So, well done AEW. I'm going to have to go watch that match. We also then got this great return video for Bandito. And honestly, we got to do more of these. It's basically two cowboys out in the Old West talking about someone that is about to return when we cut to the most wanted poster. And who is on there that if you help out, you get $100,000? Bandito. Now obviously that makes no sense if you think the wrestling is real, but who the flub cares? I thought this was so good and once again, it got me excited. Also now, who wants to join me to go and take out Bandito? $100,000, $100,000, I could want that. This guy will help. Bandito, we coming for you. Anna Jay then did indeed defeat Penelope Ford. Both of them are actually really good. Fair play once again to AEW because we had another video here explaining their history that goes all the way back to Daily's Place. So if you are a brand new AEW fan, you could invest a little bit more of yourself in this. So I'm excited about these changes. They all make a lot of sense. Anna also wanted to shake hands, but Penelope just booted her wrist away. So Jay was like, okay, fine, we will fight. But when she did go for that hanging neck breaker, I think Penelope Ford realized, well, no, I like my head on my shoulders. So instead, she raked the eyes. So how the hell is Anna going to be able to see? She also then hit these awesome double knees and threw Anna into Simba the Still steps when she did that cartwheel elbow thingamajig. I don't know what you call it, there is a name for it, but I've forgotten. It's just good stuff. And I then remembered, wait a minute, I love the Karate Kid, and she swept the leg, and look, it is a good movie. And that did allow her to try and break the neck of Penelope Ford. It didn't work. When she went for something else, Penelope did the whole Matrix thing, and she got back up and hit a car for a 1-2-ooh. I was like, man, I'm having a good time. And then just when you go, I go, we all go, bring in the Nan when Penelope went for a moonsault, but she totally missed. But she was able to dust herself off when she went for like this death submission. I think that's what the commentators called it. They most definitely didn't, but it's okay, because Anna Jay got to the rope. Of course, that pissed Ford off. She was like, you know what, referee, I'm just gonna yell at you, and you don't do that. Because she turned around, Anna Jay hit the gory bomb, 1, 2, 3. So of course, it now means she can head to take on Mercedes Moné, and I actually think she probably should win. And yeah, afterwards, Anna Jay got on the mic and said, Mercedes, you suck. As per Wrestling Rule 14.8, Moné then came out and said, who even are you, Anna Jay? I took out the big bad Chris Statlander, so why do you think you even deserve to face me? Maybe go away and do something for 10 years, and then we can see. I was like, 10 years, a decade of build? I think that's too much. Jay then slapped Mercedes when magically We were told, oh, the match is happening in 2 weeks. It's my favorite wrestling trope. It makes me so damn happy. And never forget the power of the hand. It really doesn't matter though, because I thought the match was good, as was this segment. This is the character Mercedes Moné should always be. And again, when they do fight, if you did want to do a mini title change, I certainly wouldn't be adverse to it. Give it up. Mariah May then made me laugh because she was talking to Renee and was like, the only reason you want to chat about my friends is because you don't have any. Wounded me a little bit. I was like, all right, sometimes it just happens. And that is why Mariah is going to give Mina Shirakawa the title shot, because otherwise she wouldn't deserve one. I mean, you don't get a title shot from wiggling your boobs. Don't get mad at me, that's what she said. Now, May also mentioned Thunder Rosa here, so we are building up the challenges. When Mina walked in, said, well, why don't you hit me with this champagne bottle when I'm looking at you? That was a terrible idea. But once again, we are going to do this match in the fortnight. It's another one. If you did want to change the title, I don't think it would be the worst thing in the world. This just works. Like, it's a little under the radar. It's totally fine. When we got to our main event and the match of the night in the C2, when Brody King and Claudio Castagnoli, if I were going to make up a stipulation, it would be, why don't we just go out there and try and kill each other? I mean, as soon as the bell rang, they just threw lumps at each other, and Claudio's chest was beet red in about 8 seconds. I was like, I don't think that's even physically possible. And he was so mad he went after Brody's arm and he went after the leg. This makes all the sense in the world. It doesn't matter if you're a massive husk guy. If you can't walk and you can't use your limb, well, you ain't going to be doing much of anything. He also made sure he called the Mushroom Kingdom because he hit a double stomp here. But basically, this didn't bother Brody at all, and he got back to his feet and he just started to run around like a monster. I really could watch these two fight forever. Or for the allocated minutes they get on TV. They were then getting DVDs and Sagat uppercuts as these two refused to die, mostly because they must have been taking a bunch of med pack. When Castagnoli's next move was to use his elbow, but that was the equivalent of using cheese to fix your car, because Brody just went no, and he hit him with this death lariat. And if Claudio's head had come off, well, I've been like, we don't even need to ring the cops. He's definitely dead. King then fought through the pain of his arm, and he was chopping and chiming away on Claudio when Castagnoli flew through the air, and he was the guy that got swatted out of the sky. Usually it's the other way around. A massive superplex then followed, and the fans were so behind Brody at this point when he hit the power driver. 1-2-0. Claudio then sort of bailed after this because he loves being on the outside, and actually his plan did work because Brody once again went for a big something or other. Castagnoli got out of the way, and King went into Barry Barricade. You have to calm this down, son. You're doing it every week. Claudio then went for his big lariat, which has been part of his finishing sequence recently, but man, King got in there first. He took his head off once again, and that was the best near fall of the night. Brody then decided he would win this with the Gonzo Bomb, but Claudio went, oh, wait a minute, I'm a heel, and he raked the eyes. You know the deal with wrestling. If you can't see, you can't do much. When Castagnoli hit the neutralizer, which was very impressive given the size of each of them, 1, 2, 3, 3 points. So I just love the fact that Claudio is getting all of these wins, and we have now put huge story ramifications on Brody King's head, because I think he has become the fan favorite. So as I keep on telling you, I love the C2, and I am most definitely giving it an up. So I thought this was a really good episode of Dynamite, and it was the best one in weeks. It all just flowed, and all the stories we do have, we tried to make more sense of them and tell you when they're going to come to a head. That was good stuff. Up. Now, of course, please do let me know how wrong I am in the comments below. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe if you would like my ups and downs for Raw. They're on the screen somewhere now. But otherwise, my friends, I appreciate you. See you soon.